Hey, what's happening? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth, and I wanted to talk to you for a second about rappers and money, and how some rappers make money. This stuff was on my mind recently because I actually hung out with my homie D1, who's a brilliant rapper out of New Orleans that you have to check out. I mean, he's incredibly talented, but he's also real special in terms of his vision for hip hop. In terms of giving people an alternative, giving them something that's going to empower them as opposed to stuff that glorifies the very worst of what we can be. I think we should also glorify the very best of what we can be. One of the things that came up in the conversation was we talked about the business of making money as an independent artist. And one example that came to mind for me was that of N9ne. N9ne is a brother out of Kansas City who is just killing it. He's Kansas City, Missouri, if I believe, not Kansas City, Kansas. Vigilante, another one of my friends, is out of Kansas City, Kansas. He's another great independent artist that I think you should check out as well. But anyway, N9ne he actually ended up on the Forbes list. In case you don't know, I think Tech pulled 8 million one year, and he actually turned down a deal for 60 million. A lot of the reason that he can turn down deals of that magnitude is because Tech has figured out the secret of how to make your own money. You don't have to go through any industry begging and borrowing and asking people for an opportunity. You can create your own opportunities. And the best thing about being independent is that when you sign yourself, you will never fire yourself. You will never have to worry about somebody giving you a pink slip and a notice saying, "I'm sorry, man, but you're not hot anymore, so we're not going to invest in you anymore. We're going to go with a better option." You'll never do that to yourself. And that's one of the reasons why I admire what N9ne has accomplished so much. And it's funny because Tech was actually on The Breakfast Club about maybe a week or so after I was on there. And I watched his interview and I was really curious to see how this brother thinks, because he's truly different. Not only in terms of his amazing rapid fire lyrical style, but in the way he's been able to monetize his ability in such an effective way. A couple things I picked up in terms of looking at Tech and watching him. I don't know Tech that well. I know Vigilante knows Tech, and one day maybe I'll meet him when I go out to the Midwest. But one of the things I picked up on Tech is that he has an amazing work ethic. He busts his ass. He's always working, and that's the thing. When you have your own business, when you have your own stuff, when you're doing your own thing, it's almost like raising a child. You never hear a mother say, "Well, I'm gonna put in my 30 hours of being a mother this week. The rest of the time, I'm gonna chill out." No, a mother is always a mother. And so when you give birth to your own business, you're the parent of that business. You're the mother or the father of that child, and that child is going to get a lot of your attention, but it's a labor of love because it's yours. It's yours. You planted that seed. You get to watch that thing grow, and then that's your independent domain. That there's nothing more empowering than knowing that something belongs to you. So I'm telling you, you gotta try it. You will love it. Another thing I noticed about N9ne that I was impressed with is that he has a tremendous amount of knowledge. He doesn't just know how to rap. He understands the whole universe of hip hop, everything from the business models to how to put on the show, to the technical aspects of it, to the financial aspects. He understands every step of the process. And I've seen a lot of people who know one thing. They know how to go on stage and hold a mic, but they don't know anything else. They don't know where their money's going. They don't know how the money works. They don't know how the business models get set up. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. That's how you get ripped off. If you look at Weezy and Baby, you see where there were a lot of years where Weezy only focused on rapping and Baby was focused on that money. And it sounds like now they're not cool anymore because Weezy started to go back and look at the financial records, and he's realizing, wait a minute, man, the whole time you had me gassed up about what I was doing on stage, it looks like maybe I wasn't getting my fair share of the money. But that's what happens. They have an old saying that a fool and his money will soon part ways. So that means that if you have a lot of talent or a lot of ability to make money and no education and understanding of how that money works, where that money's going, what people are doing with your money, then eventually you're going to end up broke. People will jack you. They will take everything you got. So it's important to understand that walking away from education is the hugest mistake that any human being can ever make. You can't survive in this world without being smart and educated about the environment that you're in. That's like going out into the street with no street smarts. That's stupid, right? So why would you go into the world without education and knowledge and understanding of how that world works, or how your space works? It just doesn't make any sense. So never ever buy into ignorance. Never ever embrace the idea of being proud of not being able to read, or people being proud because they don't know nothing. That's stupid. We live in the age of information, and information is king, information is queen, information is everything. Now let me just give you three things. I'm gonna leave you with three little tips on how you might want to be the next Tech9, or how you might want to go holler at your brother who's in the basement making albums, and share some of this with him. Or if you got a sister who has a hair salon she's trying to build, or some other kind of business she wants to create. Here are three universal ideas that I pick up on Tech9 that I think could be applied to any sort of business model. It's not everything, but it's three things that really came to mind when I was reading his story. Number one, you need a technician. A technician will be somebody who's all about the money, who knows the business, who knows how everything works, that's not on stage, right? So you're making the product. So let's say you're doing hair, or you're writing books or anything like that. Well, you need somebody who's not trying to do all that, who's only thinking about the money. When you create a product, they're thinking, okay, how are we going to distribute this product? How are we going to market this product? How are we going to brand this product? How are we going to license this? What are the legal ramifications? They're thinking about everything except the creation of the product. That way you get to be the artist, somebody else gets to be the business person. This is something D1 and I talked about as well. And I was telling him, I said, I think you want to, in your camp, always have a person who is all about the business, all about the money. And it can't just be your homeboy you grew up with. There might be a role for that person in your organization. You probably want to find somebody else that you trust who really understands money, how money works, how business works, all that stuff. And that's all they're thinking about. Number two, you need technique. You want to educate yourself on every aspect of the entire process of anything that you're involved in. Everything has a structure. Everything has a business model, right? So one example I think about Fantasia. When she first started singing, Fantasia admits she didn't have a lot of education. She dropped out of school. I don't even know if she knew how to read. I'm not hating on her for it. I'm not dogging her for it. But I'm saying that you shouldn't be signing contracts when you don't know how to read. Or at the very least have somebody that knows how to read, that you trust, who's going to review every contract that you put your name on, who's going to understand the business environment that you're operating in. Because going into an industry without understanding the business of that industry is like going off onto the battlefield and having no idea of who your enemy is, about the terrain that you're fighting on, or anything like that. If you do that, if you go to war without preparation, then you're going to ultimately be defeated. So that's the second thing. So first one was having the technician. Second is having your technique. Third is technology. So notice I'm using the word tech because this is my tribute to Tech9, who's probably one of the greatest rappers in the world right now. And also up with Immortal Technique. So I guess the word tech is just on my mind right now. But technology is everything. Technology is everything. Think about how people are clamoring over the latest iPhone, the latest Android, how people are on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and and Snapchat and all this other stuff. That's money. People are getting money off of this. People are making billions off of this. Technology is everything. Technology has reshaped the entire world and how the world does business. So technology is not just something that you do for entertainment. It's not just something you do when you want to kick it with your friends and send little stuff back and forth and little memes and all. That's all good. But technology is also for making money. Tech9 talked about this in his Breakfast Club interview, which I highly recommend you check out. Tech9 was saying that, without the internet, he said, there's no way I could go across the world and do sold out shows because people follow him on the internet. And I know this too. You're following me right now on the internet. This is technology. Business is being done. So what I encourage you to do is to understand that a mastery of technology, reading technology magazines, keeping up with the latest technology, keeping up with how big businesses are making money in technology can go a very long way in terms of building your business model. If you cannot today in the 21st century build a strong business without understanding how technology plays a role in the shaping of that business. That's it. So 3 pieces, get you a technician, have your technique, and understand your technology. And then maybe one day you can be the next Tech9. Well, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth, and I hope you will go and subscribe. And also, big ups to Vlad TV as well, my partners in business, and I have much respect for you guys. So take care. God bless. I'm gone. Peace.
Eminem is a king in his own right. He has changed hip hop. Before Eminem, all the white guys you would probably try to say, and I'm not dissing any of them, but besides the Beastie Boys, was kind of dressing black, was kind of trying to be black.
Gucci being the guy that he is, as soon as he would introduce me to somebody else that's big or major or meant something to him, he'll brag about me, but he'll brag the fact that I don't drink, smoke, or cuss, or